Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kesh Foundation Spaceship Institute 34th Public Testimonial Meeting for Monday, September 9th, 2019. Another month has gone by, and it's the second Monday of every month that we have these meetings, and it's glad to have you all here. So please share your experiences in any language. Hello, Rick.
Hi, Flint. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show today. So, I guess we can get into it here. If someone has something to offer, that is.
Hi, this is Libby. I don't know if I can start, but
Surely, surely, Libby.
Okay, thank you.
We'd be happy to have you start here.
Well, I live in Nova Scotia, for those that may not know, and we just got more or less whammed by Hurricane Dorian, the tail of Dorian. And I had noticed somebody else had posted that they had sprayed their house and their garden, and they were on the path of Dorian as well, and they had no harm done. And that's what I'm just coming in to say, is that I have a lot of balls and rings and in a lot of the trees and on what we call our property. And all around me, there was a lot of devastation, trees being uprooted. My neighbor's beautiful staghorn sumac, of which I had been pondering if I could ask her if I could put a ring at least on it, but I didn't do it. And well, it went down, it got uprooted. And the trees in the street below us, they were uprooted and leaning on the houses. So we definitely got blasted, but all there was on my deck was just a little bit of leaves, broken leaves. And so I think I can't say uncontestedly that I had an oasis set up, but I often feel like I do, because the balls are set up in quite a large space and have been set up for the last 2 years. And I just wanted to confirm, I think this plasma energy does harmonize the elements to a calmer place. It certainly helps with agriculture. My plants do well. And so I want to encourage other people, if they are in the path of a hurricane and they do have some Ganses, yes, spray it around, make balls, hang them in your trees. It definitely seems to make some kind of protective bubble. So thank you, everybody. And if you want to see the disaster, if you just go on to Halifax Today or any Nova Scotian paper, there are plenty of pictures to see. I don't have any, but it's there for everybody. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, what Ganses were in them?
CO2 and zinc. And there may have been some with some CH3. What I was doing was putting 3 rings, one with CH3, one with CO2 on top of it, and one with ZNO on top of it within a ball. And then I would spray the inside of that ball with CO2 water and then put the whole thing in another ball. And those seem to be very powerful. But do I know what I'm doing? No, I'm just going with instinct and saying, help me to protect everything around me. So we'll see what happens. But
Yes, that's awesome news.
okay.
Saving the vertical people.
Oh, it breaks my heart. You know, I sometimes think I was a tree in another lifetime. And it feels like I've lost part of my tribe every time I see an uprooted tree. It's like, oh, no. So, yeah, the more trees we can keep vertical and happy, the happier I am.
Yes, definitely. And where I am in here in Florida, hurricane was probably about 100 miles out. So I think it was estimated we got 45 to 50 mile an hour winds, which aren't really that much. That's like a thunderstorm winds. So there wasn't too much damage here, which I'm really happy about. It actually pruned out the dead branches in the trees, so the trees look nicer, especially the palm trees.
Who knows whether what we're doing
Yeah,
is making the difference, but I certainly would like to believe it is. I know
that's
that's the
what
best.
makes it work.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a big portion of what makes the Ganses work is our belief that empowers them.
Well, I'm glad that everybody that I knew did make it through Dorian okay. I feel very strongly for the people in the Bahamas, and I hope they're getting the help they need.
Yes, a lot of damage down there.
Just wonder if you have any cash connections in the Bahamas. Wonder if there's someone we could get in touch with.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to need a lot of help there for reconstruction, that's for sure. On the other hand, Florida it seemed to just neatly bypass Florida. There's estimates that it would hit directly, but then it sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
I found it
kind of interesting in itself. Maybe
weather modification, perhaps.
well, possibly, or maybe there's a lot of Kesh supporters in Florida that had their Gans balls out for that day.
Well, I made a wish to have it go out to sea.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, there's several. There's Jeanette down in Miami, and there's me here in Central Florida, and there's several other people along the coast here. Maybe we had something to do with it. I don't know. But I'm certainly happy it didn't cause mayhem here for 20 million people in Florida.
Okay, any other comments about that or anything to say, or we move on to the next great thing?
Thank you, Libby.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank both of you. And if Danny is around too, thank you for continuing to do this. It is the end of summer, so maybe there are stragglers just joining us now that will be contributing to their summer vacation and their experiences using the Ganses and all the Kesh technology.
All right, thank you, Libby. So do we have anyone else here in our panelists that would like to share an experience? Nothing happened all summer, perhaps?
Anything from the Romanian team? Is there any new postings there on the site?
No, I don't have any new testimonials at the testimonials site.
Okay.
I see there's a question in the YouTube from Bakmini or something. You can't read it. It's in Russian. Hello from the Russian people. And he says, say, how can the plasma field help children with the childhood disease cerebral paralysis? I think he means cerebral palsy, I guess.
I would contact the medical group for that. But back in the KSWs, I couldn't tell you when. I remember Mr. Kesh saying there's a special helmet that can be made with Ganses in certain spots or certain parts of the helmet to regenerate or reactivate or whatever the parts of the brain that need to be fixed.
Right. So that's not something we can recommend, but the doctors can if they decide to take on such a case or wish to give such advice. So that would be at the health@spaceshipinstitute.org email address for those that would like to contact the health department of the Kesh Foundation. So I'll put that notice in the YouTube.
Yeah, again, that's health@spaceshipinstitute.org. And there are private medical teachings weekly that doctors of the various fields, that have joined the classes for learning Kesh technology. Those meet every Wednesday. And maybe they would be willing to take on a case like that. But yeah, contact them through that email.
Okay, done. All right, what else do we have up here? Someone asks, is Mr. Kesh in Austria? I have no idea. Never know where he's going to be. He shows up when he shows up.
He's a world traveler.
Very much so. Just double check on emails and see if we have some input there.
And again, anybody here can speak up if they have anything they want to share with the world here about their testimonials with the Kesh technology.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Adrian from Romania. Hello, Rick.
Hi,
Hello.
Adrian.
I want speak with you on concept from reactor from light plasma. Is possible?
A reactor from light plasma? Is that what you said?
Yes. It's possible.
I have no idea. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What do you see as possible?
It's possible speak you now from this?
You want to talk about that now, you mean?
Yes.
Do you have something you want to show, a picture or something?
I'm show from you on a little film, but I need support from translation from Dan Balish.
I am here.
Okay.
Dan Balish este aici.
Yes, I am here.
Okay. Rick, I show you only the film. I'm pick from his. Deci vreau să arăt acest filmuleț scurt. Este un concept de...
I want to show you this little video. It's a concept, one concept.
Al unui reactor la care noi lucrăm. L-am făcut deja la scară mai mică și este funcțional.
I'm already working to this concept. I'm making. Go ahead, continue.
Și aș vrea să arăt la ce lucrăm acum, este la o scară mult mai mare față de inițial.
I want to show what I'm working in the big scale.
Imediat pornesc filmulețul, îl share-uiesc.
Okay, one moment I share this little video.
Îmi spune că trebuie să opresc și share-uiește Rick acum.
Rick, Adrian say it's about the approve because you're already sharing you have the screen. Okay.
Ok. Despre asta este vorba.
It's about this.
Can you turn the audio down on the movie, please? It's very loud.
Poți să închizi audio la filmuleț?
N-am înțeles.
Poți să închizi audio la filmuleț?
Da, îl închid.
Just mute it.
Numai un pic că nu știu cum să-l fac mai mare.
Just mute the audio there with the speaker.
A spus Dan?
Da.
Dan Baliș, ce a spus timp?
A spus că ai speakerul de la ai audio.
Ok.
Trebuie să-l dai în jos.
Thank
Am
you. Go
închis
ahead.
audio. Am închis audio. Deci, așa arată reactorul pe care l-am conceput noi.
How in this manner the reactor.
Sunt două oglinzi interioare
Internal.
și este și un tub accelerator de extracție.
One tube inside accelerating, saying Adrian.
Avem o bobină exterioară
One coil in external boards
pentru colectarea energiei produsă de reactor în interiorul lui.
for collecting the energy producing inside of reactor.
Iar tubul colector are rolul de a crea așa spusa portanță.
And the tube internal is like I say the portants. The portants like in airplane, between the ca și diferența în aviație, importanță, Adrian.
Da, de a crea deplasare.
For making the movement.
Noi acest concept l-am testat deja și funcționează.
This concept I testing already and it's working.
Și de-aia în testimoniale trecute l-am întrebat pe domnul Cash de ce aceste reactoare funcționează mult mai bine în bit. Dar domnul Cash nu mai era cu noi.
And for this reason, I asked in the testimonial of last month about why it's working so good in in vacuum. But Mr. Keshe already it's what to say it's not longer with us when Adrian put the question.
Deci acestea sunt cercetările pe care grupul românesc de sud le face.
This is the working the development making from salt development in the group of Romania.
Ne-am dotat în ultima vreme cu foarte multă aparatură de testare a radiațiilor.
I buy it and I testing with the apparatus for testing the radiation.
Astfel ca să vedem ce facem acolo.
For seeing what is making there.
Asta am vrut să vă arăt și vă mulțumesc la toți.
This is what I want to show it and thank you, say Adrian.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Clint.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Go ahead, Flint.
I was going to ask, how come the coils and other copper parts weren't nano-coated?
Cum le nanocotezi, Adrian? Întreabă Flint.
Deci am nanocotat cu sodă.
With caustic, saying Adrian. It's already...
Discul inferior este nanoacoperit cu flacără.
The inside internal mirror, it's nanocoated with fire.
Inferior.
Internal.
Inferior, discul inferior.
Inferior for bottom for this, yes, from the bottom first mirror.
Iar discul superior, care are și tubul de accelerare, este făcut cu sodă.
And the upper mirror with the tube, it's making with caustic.
But the coil on the outside was not nano-coated. Why?
Rick Flint întreabă de ce bobina exterioară nu este nanocotată.
Este nanocotată, dar aici este filmulețul făcut înainte de a fi totul nanoacoperit.
Okay. Also, the coil, external coil, it's nano coating, but the video it's making before the nano coating and throwing the little video.
Ca o noutate, vreau să vă spun că bobina exterioară, care se află într-un mediu gravitațional,
I want to say, like a news, the coil of external it's another environment. Deci este într-un alt mediu.
Da, este într-un mediu gravitațional, bobina exterioară.
Gravitational environment. Regarding
external coil functionment in gravitational medium is not with Gans for this. It's only nano. It's only nano because nano is converter from only radiation from internal system of this ball.
Okay, you are already translate. Deja ai tradus.
Okay,
That's
thank
good.
you.
Without Gans, only nano, because it's converter for the energy, all the energy inside and outside.
This coil is only recuperator from this energy, energia din interiorul sferei, da.
The energy of inside of this ball.
Yeah. Okay, it is reactor concept from Romanian team. Este conceptul echipei românești. Și funcționează. De-aia l-am întrebat pe domnul Cash de ce atunci când facem vid în sferă funcționează și fără vid nu funcționează.
Yes, this concept is working, and for this reason, I asked in Mr. Keshe why in the environment of void bead, it's working, and in natural, in normal environment, it's not working properly. This is I asked in Mr. Keshe. Say, Adrian.
Could you say that again? I didn't understand. He's asking, why is it?
Adrian, for this reason, Adrian asked him why it's working in different environment in a vacuum medium. It's working properly, and in the atmospheric environment is not working so well, so good.
Have they tested it in a vacuum environment?
Adrian întreabă Rick dacă ai testat în mediu de vacuum.
Da, am testat și acolo funcționează. Dacă nu este vacuum, nu funcționează. Rick, this device working very beautiful in vacuum. In absence of vacuum, it's not working. And atmosphere gravitational not working. Oxygen is gravitational. This device and this concept not working in presence of oxygen. The oxygen working very nice. The power collecting from external coil is very nice. It's very nice.
Is he saying that he tested it in a vacuum environment?
Yes, Adrian say it's testing in the vacuum without air inside of this ball. It's working because it's two environment. Outside it's with air, inside it's without air.
Dan, spune următorul lucru, mai ales lui Rick. Eu nu-mi găsesc cuvinte să-i spun. Deci dacă întoarcem reactorul cu tubul accelerator în jos pe un cântar, greutatea pe cântar scade.
Okay.
Deci,
If you turn it upside down the reactor from the balance, the weight, the mass of this, it's much noisy. Is reduce the mass, reduce the weight.
și nu am sărit încă pe partea de scintilație care o producem, nu am sărit de 2000 de volți.
Is not passing yet 200, not 200, 2 miles of electron volts for centimeter square. For
scintillation. Scintillation. Scintillation is was the start the process on plasma. This concept reactor start at 2 miles volt.
Rick, you understand?
Not really. I think he's saying that it needs 2 volts to start the scintillation or something.
Mr. Kesh is saying when you have when you pass in 2 miles electron volt of centimeter square, no, you see the scintillation, the plasma
From starting plasma.
for ignition, for seeing the light, or for ignition of plasma, Adrian, pentru a vedea scintilația, pentru a porni procesul.
Da, așa este. Așa e.
Ok.
Ok. Am vrut să vă arăt acest concept, să vedeți că lucrăm în continuare, chiar dacă public nu a mai arătat multe lucruri.
I want to show this concept because for knowing, we working, and we don't show in public a lot of work, but it's for showing it's working process.
Îmi doresc
I wish
ca grupul acesta din care fac parte să strângă cumva rândurile direct cu voi, cei care sunteți acolo și știți mai multe.
for making connection with all the who has the knowledge and knowing. Pentru, deci vrei să faci legătură cu ei pentru
a merge mai repede înainte.
For working more fast together in front.
Timpul se scurtează. Eu simt că timpul se scurtează și nu mai este timp pentru a face ce avem de făcut.
I feel the time is short. It's not. We don't have the time for making this or that because I feel the time is short.
Luna viitoare o să arătăm concret cum se aprinde acest reactor. Este ceva fascinant.
The next month I showing how it's making, how it's working this device.
Ok, asta am vrut să vă spun în seara asta. Mulțumesc frumos.
This is what I want to say tonight, and I thank you, Adrian.
Okay, well, thank you for the initial presentation there. We look forward to seeing more results from that. Some tests perhaps, or some other video would be great. I see that Dean has his hand up here. Maybe he has a question. I'm going to go ahead, Dean.
Are you talking to this Dean?
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't have my hand, or I didn't mean to have my hand up. But
Okay.
since I am on the air, let me just tell everybody blessings to everyone, and thanks for being here. And I just can't wait to see how much beautiful creation comes out of our intention. And with that, I'll say peace be with everyone.
Okay, thanks, Dean. Is there any questions or comments for Adrian there?
Adrian, could you please clarify by you think our time is short?
Adrian, poți să clarifici de ce ai spus că timpul este s-a scurtat?
Timpul este scurt, este foarte mult de lucru.
It's very much from working.
Noi suntem puțini
We are a few,
și nu putem să stăm, să așteptăm, să nu avem realizări.
I can't wait and have expectation waiting for nu aștept pentru, deci nu puteți să aștepta pentru ca alții.
Nu te-am înțeles, da.
Deci nu putem să așteptăm ca alții să... N-am înțeles ultima parte.
Nu e vorba de alții. Este vorba că timpul nostru este scurt. Timpul omului este scurt. Și atunci noi trebuie să...
Am întrebat de ce ai zis că timpul este
Da,
scurt.
pentru că timpul omului este scurt.
Da, for this reason I ask him because the time of man is short.
Okay. No, I was getting the drift of that, but I was just trying to establish a timeline as in 10 months, 10 years. I know none of us know that real date, but we all know it's coming and we got to learn how to fly. So,
Libby,
Yeah.
sorry. The time from humanity is very short. The time for humanity is short because life for humanity is short. I don't know when vine ceva din spațiu către noi.
Something behind when it's coming something from behind. It's not knowing when it's time it's finished, saying Adrian.
Și atunci trebuie să fim pregătiți. Trebuie să fim pregătiți, trebuie să ne pregătim.
Have the preparation, be prepared for
kind of like getting prepared for a hurricane, but a much bigger one. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
something
Got
like
it. Thank you.
E ca și pentru să fii pregătit pentru uragan, pentru tornadă, dar trebuie să fii pregătit.
Yes. This is problem. Un uragan cosmic, un disaster cosmic.
I don't hear you. Nu te aud, Adrian. S-a întrerupt conexiunea, Adrian, nu te aud.
The cosmic hurricane didn't want to be talked about, Adrian.
Yes. But this model from reactor is capable from construction the spaceship from Mr. Keshe say.
The model you were showing us?
Yes.
Excellent, Adrian. Thank you.
Thank you, Libu. Înțeles, Dan?
Yes, that's perfect because now maybe we'll pay a lot more attention to what you're doing. Thank you.
Deci, adică o să fie mai multă atenție la ceea ce faci și îți mulțumește.
Și eu sunt atent la foarte mulți dintre voi, inclusiv la Rick, inclusiv la Flint, inclusiv la ceilalți colegi ai noștri ce fac.
Also, I have the attention, I put attention from what making Rick, Flint and the other guys, for what making, what thinking, for better result, for reaching the knowledge.
Și pentru echipa românească pe care eu o conduc,
And for team from Romania, which I am the leader, no, I guide.
Voi sunteți niște modele de urmat pentru noi.
we are the models for falling.
Thank you. Vă mulțumesc.
Thank you.
Well, very good. Thank you. You mentioned preparations and how important it is to prepare for eventualities. And so what, I'm wondering what ways that we can prepare for natural disasters, or say if we did know that there was a asteroid that was going to hit the Earth in a year, what would we do that would change our behavior, or what would we do differently in the next year to prepare for that? How do we prepare for, essentially, how do we prepare for our death? Because all of us will die eventually, at least our physicality. And if we think of that as the asteroid coming at some point, then how do we prepare? How do we conduct our daily life, and still with this idea that one day we may not exist on this dimension? And that's a pretty big idea to kind of get into. But
Well,
one thing,
yep.
Hang on to your thought for a second there, Libby. I just wanted to mention that in the terms of the hurricane and all of that, and what you mentioned, Libby, about the destruction in Nova Scotia in particular, because they went through a previous hurricane a few years ago, the people there are actually quite well prepared. They interviewed one of the hurricane preparation people, and he said they learned a lot from the last hurricane, and they had their resources ready to go. So they had lots of chainsaws, and they brought the military in and taught them how to use chainsaws, and had the necessary gas already stored in the warehouse, and had all the parts and all the materials they needed, and all the education teams were ready, and all of the water and the helping out with the community and all that kind of thing had already been talked about, already been prepared for. And so they knew what to do, and the emergency people knew how to keep in communication way better than they did the first time, in spite of 80% of the province had the power cut off. So 80% of the people in Nova Scotia didn't have any power, and yet there was nobody killed in this hurricane in Nova Scotia, which is quite amazing when you consider that these 100 trees that have been there for 150 years or more were suddenly crashing down to the street and tearing down the power lines and crushing vehicles and that kind of thing. But nobody got seriously hurt or killed in that hurricane. So that's, I think, a reflection of preparation, the difference between being prepared for such a thing as a community and not being prepared. Or perhaps somebody in the preparation people had a reactor or some sort of Gans balls hanging around, and maybe that was their main way of preparation. Who knows? But I'm just stating that the idea that if we know something's coming, then there's things we can do to prepare. So go ahead, Libby.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think any of us are prepared for a cosmic hurricane, because most of us haven't lived through one, or if we did, we may not remember it in this lifetime, if we have many lifetimes. But the thing I wanted to say is that the true preparation is constant. And it's learning to love each other and ourselves. And this is the great thing about hurricanes and emergency situations, is that people get to know their neighbors. They help each other. If somebody did have a generator, then they would hook up 3 or 4 houses. And so it's actually what needs to be done now in preparation is a true buildup of community again, because the sense of community has gone, except it shows up when there's no power and people can't get lost on the internet or TV or whatever. But truly, we are so hooked in these days that it's wonderful in that we can send messages across the world and say, hey, I'm okay, or, you know, we're going to need help, and it is a great technology. But that technology has removed a lot of the face-to-face interactions people have in a community when you do have a community barbecue or things that you do on a regular basis. And I think what Mr. Keshe has always been teaching us are the attributes of God. Well, within those attributes is a sense of community, because you do really recognize that everybody has the potential for those attributes, and then to work on them in yourself and to be really clear. And he loves to use the word kindness. And I am starting to understand that word kind or kindness much better from some star teachings I've been listening to. And, you know, we say we're kind beings, but are we kind beings when there are still homeless people, when there are still starving people, when children are dying anywhere on this planet? How can we say we're kind? We think we're kind. I've always thought I was really kind, but I see that behind my kindness is an expectation of to receive kindness. And whenever there's an expectation behind anything we do, it isn't pure. And so humanity's version of kindness has got impurity in it. And so part of our work, I see, and this is what potentially why the plasma works so well, because it amplifies. It's an amplifier. And so you get to witness yourself if you're willing to look, and you can really see, well, wait, I have an expectation here. If I'm kind, you'll be kind. But that's not necessarily true. And it may not even, my gesture of kindness may not even be received as kindness. So it's like we've got a lot of personal work to do to prepare for this cosmic hurricane, shall we call it? I love the name of that. And it really has to do with building community all around us, being there to help each other, really, without any expectations. And I know that has been a huge lesson for me, even within the Keshe Foundation, beginning to have expectations that the transcribers were going to get paid, made something that I'd been doing for a long time without any expectation. And I was so devoted. But the moment I had an expectation, it kind of dissolved even the joy and the dedication I had to doing it. So it's to look at these things and say, okay, what is this about? What is it in our human nature that wants to give, but is anticipating the receive instead of just giving, knowing you will receive? But how and where is up to the universe, and it's not up to you. And so that's how I see that we need to continue to prepare for this cosmic hurricane and all the bad weather systems that I do believe are being manipulated. I think that there is a lot of truth behind it, but, you know, maybe that's just too much of a quote unquote conspiracy theory. But even whether it's being manipulated or not, it's happening. And the more we can prepare to live without a lot of what we thought we needed, which you learn to do pretty quickly when you don't have power, and food, you know, the more we can be around Gans waters and not have to kill to live, or at least learn how to do a better exchange when we need to get the elements we need. I think that's the preparation work that we all need to do. That was a long rant. Sorry.
It was beautiful. Thank you, Libby. I wanted to inject a couple of times, but I didn't want to break your rant, as you call it there. It was nice. I wanted to go back to Nova Scotia again, and I saw in the news yesterday that that people didn't have their internet, for one thing. The internet was down, the usual social media wasn't working, and so on. So people were a bit on their own that way. And one thing that happened was, since the power was off, the local pizza restaurant had the power off to all their refrigeration and so on. So they decided to have pizza day at the local country oven. I think it's a
It's a
wood
community
fire
oven in a park.
community oven, yes. And he brought all of his pizza ingredients, and they made pizzas on the outdoor oven, wood burning oven or whatever, and invited the community to show up and have pizza. And so this was a great event because it brought people together in the community, and everybody likes pizza pretty much, and so they all enjoyed this meal courtesy of one of the local establishments. And that just shows how people do come together. And also they were telling stories about a lot of people were sharing their food, because number one is the meat that you've stored in your freezer is going to go bad, or other foods too, but particularly meat. It'll go bad very quickly if it's not frozen. So people realize, oh, I'm going to have to do something here. Well, Joe down the street has a big family, and he's got a working, wood stove or something. Or barbecue or something. Let's have a party with him and share our food. So people were sharing their food with others, primarily so that the food doesn't spoil. And then I'm thinking, well, what if people ate up all their meat in the first week of a big national disaster, or a big disaster of some sort in some area, and they maybe were forced to go vegetarian after that, and even to contemplate trying to exist without food by using Ganses or other means to go without food. And I'm thinking, well, gee, that would be an interesting situation. Other than some people get very desperate when they do run out of food, and that can invite violent sort of confrontations and that sort of thing. But we didn't see anything like that, at least in the short interval of the hurricane in Nova Scotia. It's
But you
hard to
do get
say in that
antsy. You do
situation.
get antsy. I remember with the one before, which was Juan, I had no power for 10 days.
Mhm.
And I was in the country, so that also meant no water.
Mhm.
And you got antsy. People would get antsy
Yeah.
because they can't get what they're normally used to. Thankfully, the hurricane season is not in the winter. And so, generally speaking, people aren't freezing, but it's people that need oxygen tanks or some kind of generator. If they don't have, like if they're on a powered item, they're the most vulnerable. And then the seniors and stuff. But you're right, it was a beautiful community event, and all kinds of things were happening everywhere. And that's what's helping me see how important this community is, and the face-to-face interactions. It's what's really needed for us to get cohesion. It's like this, again, some of the STAR teachings I'm listening to, they talk about all these groups around the world that want peace, just like the Keshe Foundation wants peace. But all of us are in our own little world, and we can't come together and all look in the same direction of peace. And the moment we can, I think it would take 7 million people to look in the same direction, we would get right into the new paradigm. But we're all busy, sidetracked by our own little ways of understanding it. And yet the understanding is world peace. It's all a common goal for so many groups. So learning to look in that direction and not judge each other and not quarrel with each other and accept each other's ways, whether you're whatever culture you are, whatever choice you are, you still want world peace. Look in the direction with everybody else looking towards world peace, and we will attain it. But we have to learn to stop arguing with each other or saying my way is the right way and everybody else's way is the wrong way, which unfortunately is the human dilemma. That's why we all live in our own little my way nuclear lives, and that's really got to change. I believe co-housing and learning to live in community is imperative for humanity to relearn.
Good point. Anybody else like to have a comment on this?
Oh, Dimitri did, and I'd love to hear your voice, Dimitri.
Well, there's an invitation.
Can you hear me?
We can.
I was just agreeing with what you said then about face-to-face interaction. It's a dilemma that possibly some of us are going through at the moment, where not having a soul in a physicality in front of you. Yeah, it's all right to be able to talk to people on the phone or through a video chat, etc. But it is not the same as being physically in the same room, if you will. And it's a how can I put this? There's a lot lacking, and fair enough. You know, we can communicate with each other through the fields, and you know, in many ways, it is actually not necessary to be face to face, but still, at the same time, it does make a huge difference. Something that has been knocking around in my head for quite some time now. And when you mentioned the whole face-to-face interaction, that's what popped into my mind. That's what I felt. Yes, it's a feeling. It's an emotion, and it does make a big difference, as I'm sure you all know. Thank you.
Thanks, Dimitri. And then I might add, if I can, I think of the strength of the Romanian team. And what is it that they have? One is their face-to-face interactions with each other. They meet. They're in each other's physical presence, maybe not all the time. But, and then if you look at Ursula's experience with Gianni, they met, they worked together. There was this dynamic energy that happened. And I guess that's what the conferences used to be for, and what will be for, is to again for people to have an opportunity to be face to face, maybe on a more consistent basis. Because it's true, if you've been face to face with someone before, and you do see them on Skype or Facebook or whatever other way you can do it, it seems almost sufficient. It's not, but it's better than if you've actually never met them. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but the other important aspect of getting face-to-face with people is to actually listen to their story. Most of us, and I've definitely been guilty of it, tell people what they should be doing rather than just listening to their story and potentially learning from this human being's experience without passing judgment, but really listening and then interacting. And then if you're doing it in a more of a group setting, again, like the plasma teams, when you have regular group meetings and there is some face-to-face involved in it, there's a strength that's made from that union of people and minds. And again, how we get that within our Keshe experience. Like, I'm touching base now. I've met 2 more people who are Keshe Foundation members in Nova Scotia. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know they existed. And they're part of the STAR teaching I'm going to be going to in mid-September, sorry. So that's exciting to me to see those connections coming together, because I've truly felt quite isolated here in Nova Scotia. Anybody I ever talked to about the Keshe technology read too much of the disinformation or had unpleasant experiences ordering stuff, and that did leave an impact, unfortunately, for those of us who know it's beyond all of the powers that were's efforts to make the science not what it is. And those of us who know it is what it is, you can get quite disheartened because so much of what's said about the Keshe Foundation, or has been said, has been viewed in negative information, because that's what the powers that were wanted. That's changing. And that's what's exciting for me to see and watch and say, okay. So thank you, Dimitri. And I wish for you that you have a lot of face-to-face, and I wish for me that I have a lot of face-to-face. And I wish for all of us that we have a lot of face-to-face time.
Thank you, Libby. It's nothing to compare the feeling and joy when you're hugging the other person, when you're meeting physically.
Oh, I so agree. I so agree. And here in Nova Scotia, that is not a practice that many people find comfortable. And it's been very hard for me, having a European background where hugging is taken so easily. It's been a lesson for me to hug more etherically. And there are, of course, people that I do hug. But what do you think, Rick? Do you think BC people are quick to hug?
I would say, generally speaking, yes, they're fairly quick to hug here. Yeah, I think so. You see people hug quite often in public, and not just, male and female, but mixed people, just because they're glad to see each other and all that sort of thing.
Here it's strictly for family and extremely close friends. That's it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rick, if I meet you in the street, first I hug you and after I salute you.
Oh, yes.
Interesting, yes. hug first, say hello after. Okay, any other comments here? I'm kind of wondering, now that we brought up this topic, this idea of being face to face with another soul, let's say. What is it about being in the physical presence that makes it different than what we're doing right now? Let's say we have this, we are in a way face to face. We are, our attention is directed into this room, this Zoom room. So we're all, in a way, we're all in the same room, and we can hear each other, and we can interact on a verbal and mental basis. Of course, we don't have the physicality, but yet we may be feeling emotions and interacting on that level. But what is it that makes it different between the face-to-face communication? Is it something to do with that eye-to-eye thing, where you actually see the eyes of the other person, and as the saying goes, the eyes are the windows of the soul. So is that the way we engage in a soul-to-soul communication normally? And if you were with a person in the room physically, but you closed your eyes, would it be, or you were blind, say, does that mean that you wouldn't be able to communicate as well with that person? So how important are the eyes for this being-to-being communication, I guess, is the question I'm sort of posing here. And hoping that somebody will respond. Hint, hint.
I agree, but I know it's not me. Is somebody else, please respond.
I remember when Mr. Kish is saying you are standing with the back and front. You are feeling also. It's your detecting way. The skin, the close, no closer. Yes, the interact or feel feel, not feeling emotionally. The gradient making between these two souls. Yes, it's important to see, but you see also with the eyes of soul, not only physically.
So what makes it stronger or seem stronger when you're in the presence of another person as opposed to being present in the Zoom chat here, Zoom room?
Well,
For
there's all
me,
the other sensations too. There's touch, there's smell. You can smell another person. If you touch them or even come close to them, then you'll feel their field. And if somebody's having a fit outside because they're really upset, you'll hear their field. And so there's not just our sight, it's all the other senses that we have. And as you said, I believe our third eye and our soul, they have great powers, and we've just not learned to use them properly yet, but we're learning.
for me, it's layering the emotion. It's emotional connection. If if I know somebody standing in the other room, but it's close to me, this emotion bursting in my soul, in my mind, inside me, create this emotion event, this connection, this yes, connection. For me, it's joy. It's so joying when I listen to you, when I knowing, and it's like a dreaming. When I dream, when I sleep, making connection. When I thinking us, I'm making this connection in my soul. It's important for seeing, for be closer, but not only closer physically. For me, it's me, always saying me, but it's us, because I am part of you and you are part of me, totality. It's like when you're returning home. It's home. It's not home where you putting head in the pillow. It's when you're feeling good. You are feeling comfortable. For me, it's emotional. I don't know, in fridge, or in heating room. But when I have the feel, the sentiment, the feeling, I feeling good. It's not important what it's outside. It's how I feeling inside me regarding to environment.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
It's
Go
like a
ahead.
joke. It's like a joke when you listen to plants making the joke one each other, and you are listening this conversation from outside.
The plants are telling each other a joke.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what kind of jokes? I know, a plant joke. Two plants walked into a bar. Yeah, that's the joke. So I don't know what they would be saying, but that's entirely possible. Ursula mentions an idea that we see better with the eyes closed. And there's a saying that blind people can, in a way, see people better than those that have their eyes normal, because they sense their presence rather than being fooled by the eyes and what the eyes see, which is usually the skin covering over our Gans body is very, very thin, but yet most people judge others according to what that bag of skin looks like, in a way. Is it big? Is it small? Is it male? Is it female? Is it black? Is it white? Is it this? Is it that? And our associative mind associates various other things with all of the impressions we get of just the skin bag that we're looking at. But actually, the feelings inside may be unrelated in a way to what the bag looks like. So perhaps, even though we're seeing through the eyes, like Ursula also mentions, the eyes are the door to reach the soul. So how is it we see better with the eyes closed, yet the eyes are the door to reach the soul? It seems like a dichotomy here somewhere.
Hi, it's Ursula. No, this is not economy. I am naturopath, as you know, maybe, and I learn iridology. It's the part of the color of the eye. And there are 2 or 3 schools there, so we can have it all in the eyes, the physical eyes. And the eyes, this color part is teaching us and showing us what happens inside. And when I say it's the door for the soul, it's because they show it all to us, because some of us cannot feel, and so we need to have an explanation of what it is inside each body. And so we can see, we learn it as naturopath, and we can see many things in the eyes. Also the color and the regard, the vision. But what it really happens with the inside, what we are feeling, the eyes closed, you only can feel right when the eyes are closed. Like a meditation, like when you're alone in the forest or in the nature somewhere, and you feel the wood and the plants and the birds and everything what is around you. You are feeling it, even if you are not seeing it. I understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Iridology is one of the part of a naturopath. Many are specialists inside in this topic, and I learned it, but I don't use it anymore. I use nothing other as my perception, my intuition, my feeling, and all the knowledge I got for 30 years. And now, since I'm working with the plasma, wow, it's amazing what happens. And here in the Oasis, has been started 6 months ago with Gianni and 6 Romanias, and one of a little child, 3 years old. She was amazing. And then 10 Spanish people coming from everywhere, and from Spain, and we were also different and so diverse, cultural and knowledge, but something happens here very, very strong and continuous. I got my open portal journey Saturday. It was also my 61st birthday, and there was not many people here, but very beautiful souls, and even the major comes here. Very beautiful and very strong moment.
The mayor, I think you mean.
Yeah, the mayor. Okay, it's exactly.
No armies, just the local mayor.
No. I have armies here, 3 kilometers far. You know the Mirage. They are flying. Wow, it's so scaring sometimes, but okay. There are 2,000 militaries there, and okay, maybe I'm here for that. I don't know. I didn't find this place. The place found me, and I'm here now, creating this and enjoying and being in this oasis, living here with my dog and 6 chicken and an amazing place, 7,200 square meters. And many things are happening here. It's amazing how coincidences and happenings are coming, and people comes and feel this and this, and it's I put it all in my page, Oasis Provence. Maybe not all, but much of those I'm living here and staying here and enjoying or asking or it's not very easy for me to explain it from the soul position, but it comes and many are feeling it. So it's very beautiful what is happening here. And I was looking today many videos of effondrement. I don't know how you call this, Libby, maybe you can help me. Effondrement.
The earthquakes, is that? No?
No,
Or
no, effondrement is where the situation that is happening all around the world.
oh, the sinkholes?
I don't know. It's
Ok, je vais regarder.
effondrement. I don't know. I will show it to you. I will put the link. And many beautiful souls are appearing in diverse topics and diverse young people who are thinking about what's happening all around the world, not only in France, not only somewhere. It's a whole feeling what we have for so many times, and now many are awakening. This is beautiful because it's hard for so many. I got the father of my two first boys. He died the Friday, and now I'm very close to my boys and supporting them. They are now young adults and making nice works and living with their passions. But I talking to them to tell them that the Father is always there. But you know, the soul dimension is not understandable for everybody. So it takes time. And situation like this makes us grow because we lose nobody physically. I mean, physically, yes, but with the soul dimension, we will be all together. We are all right all together because it's only a part of us living here in the physical dimension. And we are growing this way because we got more intuition, more love to others and to ourselves. And soul experiences, very hard sometimes, but very beautiful to be free. And when we get elder, because the dimension of for the youngest who are studying and working and making money maybe to invest somewhere in their projects. I have done this also in my time. Now I can be protected in oasis, and I hope that you all are creating this oasis, your oasis, because it's not difficult to do. I never thought I will be able to reach this point of beauty, and many comes here to help, to put a hand on it and the shoulder, and also sometimes buying something, some money, and it's happening. It's just happening. And when you want it really, that you really want and desire in your life, you know, your wish is your command. So be confident. And even when you see so many horrible things, as in the Amazonias, who is criminal, and so many other places, this will stop very soon. When you are aware of your power and what you can do for others and for the world and for yourself. This is the most important, to be strong. Yes, it's Libby has writing, effondrement is collapse. This means here collapsologiste, who they are talking about this. It will come, but it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of this world, like it is today, with wars, with horrible things doing on children. And I got two mothers here having problems with their children and the fathers. And okay, we need only to be close to them and give them love. It's heal. And when they come to us, they feel good and better. And so this will heal by itself without words, without looking without criticize the other, and many are doing it, but it will stop. All will stop. All this will stop when you want that it will stop, and that you do all to reach this level of love and the new dimension we are arriving all together. And we are here to support you. I mean, as you see, there are more now, and working together, all the supporters, our family is growing, and new teachers come in, and some beautiful experience are arriving and sharing here on these testimonies every Monday, and so beautiful souls coming. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you to all. And when you need something, please ask to those who can help you. We are here to help you. We are here to serve. And we love you. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ursula. Did have a question. You were mentioning as a naturopath and mentioning iridology, which is the study of the iris of the eye. And I know from many years ago when I looked into that and studied it somewhat, that it's possible, like you're saying, the eyes are a reflection of the organs inside of our body. For example, you can tell the condition of each organ of the body according to the iris of the eye, condition of the lungs, and all kinds of things can be seen inside the eye that way, or reflections of the physicality. Now, sorry, Dean, your video's on there. I don't think you mean to have that on, perhaps. There we go, thank you. So my question would be that as a naturopath, or as a health professional, let's say, when you look into the eyes and see, you can see the problems or the different organs that might be weak, for example, and need some reinforcing and that kind of thing. So you can tell how to deal with the physicality body. Now, my question would be, when you look into the eyes, is there anything through iridology or other techniques that you can see that's a reflection of the soul, let's say, or a deeper aspect of that interaction? Can you say something about that?
Yes, of course, there are, but because iridology, I put there a link. It's in French, but all the docs I love, I felt, I found, I put it there. It's in French, but for those who understand French, can be useful. And today I don't use these techniques anymore, because when I look at an eye to somebody in front of me, I don't know, I get intuitions as I feel what he has. And we have studying also type of morphology and all this kind of, there are many things in naturopathy as health educator, nutrition and many things, massage, and there are many kind of techniques. But now I'm not in activity anymore. I close my auto-entreprise because I don't felt it anymore like this way, because when somebody needs to pay 65 euros and they have not, I cannot imagine that I cannot help him, because it's not possible. We are here to help others and to serve others. So now I got an association with other therapists, and one is doing also with the numbers, how you call it, Grabovoi, and the other make other things, and the other is a coach, motivation coach. So we use the techniques what we feel, and we can mix them because there's not a bad one or a good one. And when you look at somebody, if you have seen the movie Que savons-nous de la réalité? What the bleep do we know? Maybe some of you have seen this movie. I invite you to find it, because it's very well explained. What we can see through an eye is only a perception of the other. And what is stronger of all as seeing somebody is to feel somebody. Now I work, I don't work anymore, but when my work as naturopath is coming through to help somebody because he's asking me something, okay, I look at him and I can understand what happens, because all the diseases we can have, it's not the liver, it's not the heart, it's not the skin, is our suffering, is all what we cannot express. It stay in our body and explodes there somewhere and to get out. And we can, as we know now, heal every disease. So it's difficult to explain it with words for me, but we can feel it all. We need only to open our minds, our heart, our passions. This is the most difficult for some of us, because much of us cannot understand why the other cannot feel it, because many of us and many of others who are needed help now are not open to hear and to open their own doors. We cannot open others. We can only open our doors. And when we open our doors, we can feel everybody. As the first of the knowledge seekers, one of the first, when Mr. Geshe explained it us that we will no speak anymore because we will not need to speak, that we will not need to eat because our digestion system will disappear, and we will nourish us with breathing. That's why breathing is so important. And then you can feel others. You will see the colors of the aura, and you will see if he's angry or sad, or somebody is suffering. We can help them otherwise. And the hug and the loving and to hear others, it's so important to be patient and humble. And so many are today arrogant. Okay, it's not easy to support sometimes, but you can see this anger in the eyes. You can see the love in the eyes. You can see everything in the eyes, because they are the mirror of our soul. And this comes little by little. It comes not in one day. You can see the link I put in, but you will feel it with the plasma, the drinking plasma. I'm drinking now 4 years. When I've been in Argentina and I visit John, I saw he drink it pure, and so I started to do it also. And it's amazing what happens. I healed my dog. He got a big cancer tumor, and he has nothing more now. He is a beautiful dog and healthy, and he needs only to speak, maybe to express, but I can feel him. And we will all feel others, even the eyes closed. I don't know, it was clear what I have been saying, but I try to do my best. And
it was beautiful. Thank you. And clear to me.
And maybe with the link I put it into my, I have a website to share all what I learned, so that others can learn it also if they want. But we need to desire this, to learn, to be curious what other can do, and instead of being jealous or I don't know what, but we can learn. We can learn from others, and this is beautiful. And I'm so happy to see what so young, beautiful people can do today, and so many topics and so many kind of works and talents and specialty. I enjoy it so much. And we can help now the youngest to grow and to be what they need to be, because they are, and to reach this infinitive possibility we have all to reach the universe. We are inside. We are all right a part of this. And so Iridology is now, it's not over, because much needed, of course, because this can help. But when you make an analysis of something, a test, you are sticking a perception, and you let not the body heal himself. Because when you say to somebody he has a cancer, you are condemned it, because it's not the cancer what kills. It's the fear to die, because we don't know what happens later, and all what it happens when somebody dies, the sadness in the family, and I can understand this, because my mother died when I was just 19, 3 weeks later, and she died on my side in her bed at home. And I see this procession of dying and going away with the last breath. And I understood many things in my young age, and this helps me very much to understand all better now, even if making coils for me is not so easy, but I'm not so confident with material. And when you reach this position of soul, it's so easy sometimes. The more difficult part is to make you understand for others, and this is another things to learn, to help others as little sisters or brothers that need you to grow. And we are now able to be there with any techniques you want to learn, or to share with others, to help them to find something. But the best part is that we can help them to learn it by their own. And the kids teaching, Rick, you have done it so beautiful. There are 22 translated in France. So beautiful. I put them there now, so they can start with this. 22 are not 200, and for kids they can learn. And I have one of the son of a woman who is living here in this moment, and he is 13, but he's so happy to see that, and he wanted to learn, and he will help her mother to learn, because sometimes, and most of the times, all the plasma techniques is so far from their understanding. As iridology or whatever they want to learn, if iridology can help them, okay, they can learn it with this link I put in. And you can have it in all languages now. You can learn it all what you want, a language, whatever you want to do. So if you wish, you can. And this is the most beautiful part of this understanding. If you have any other questions, I will be glad to explain my position, what I understand of this. So thank you. Thank you to all to be there.
Beautiful, Ursula. Thank you very much for your explanations. And yes, the kids knowledge seekers workshops are a great series for both kids and adults. When we were making that series, I thought it was at times more profound than the knowledge seekers workshops or any of the other workshops, and the insights and the principles that are discussed there are very basic, but yet very profound and can be taken on many levels, other than the childlike level that we tried to push for. But of course, Mr. Kesh would elaborate in depth and sometimes in these workshops as well. So it's very interesting for people to take in, and I'm glad you have that translated to French, Ursula, or to French and Spanish as well. I think it's translated.
Yes, we are working in Spanish very much, and we are taking, we are looking what others do, and inspiring from those who have done it. So we are now 18 languages, and now 24 Universal Council. So we help each other because we are not all on the same level, but we don't need to create twice one good experience. We can not copy it only, but to be inspired what others do, and then do it in our way, because we are all different. I mean, we are the same soul, but we are different ethos and languages and lands and whatever. And we got, some of us, different parents, I mean, language parents. And so we learned many cultures, and we need now to open this. There are not more limits. For me, it's one planet for so much time. And I'm very happy that we are reaching this level now. It's very beautiful to see. And thank you, Rick, for all you've done. For the first time, I was hearing your voice at the beginning when this opens, and you have been always there with so much patience and always there, and with Reactors Group growing now in another level. It's not more as technical as it was first. Now it's opening to the soul level, and so many beautiful teachers come in also, and it's growing really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you to all what you are doing.
Oh, thank you very much, Ursula. I appreciate that.
Rick, is possible?
Go ahead.
Regarding from soul and I, it's very interesant, this theory, but it's not on theory. Dan Barish, I need help from translation.
I'm here.
Deci, la noi, la români,
In Romania,
există o legătură foarte strânsă creierii ancestrali.
we have the ancestral connection
Connection. Între ochi și suflet.
between eyes and soul.
Spune că ochii reprezintă starea sufletului. Așa se spune la noi.
The eyes reflect the state of soul.
Și se spune că cei care dorm și visează cu ochii deschiși,
Who's sleeping and it's dream the wake, no?
open eye,
Right?
open eye, dream
With open eyes.
with open eye.
You're dreaming with open eyes, okay?
Yes. Și acum vin și vă provoc.
Now I launch this the provocation.
Ca să înțelegem de fapt ce înseamnă teorema de Mojan.
For for understanding what is meaning Mojan.
Mojan, conform celor spuse de domnul Cheș,
What Mr. Kesh is saying,
înseamnă să călătorești cu spiritul
traveling with the soul,
sau împreună și cu corpul.
together with also with the physical body.
Acum venim la ce s-a discutat în seara asta.
Regarding what is discussed in first, probably in this night,
Dacă noi în poarta ochilor
in the door of eyes,
lăsăm sufletul să iasă, să vadă,
leave the soul to see,
și dacă îi place ceea ce vede,
if you like it, what seeing,
atunci își va lua corpul după el.
taking the body with together. If you are lucky what you are seeing, you carry the body with you.
Și acum, cu adevărat, în seara asta, eu am vrut să pun accentul doar
This night I want to put in the accent, truly accent.
asta înseamnă călătoria Mojan. Ce a spus și Ursula, ce a spus și Rick și ce au spus și ceilalți.
This is meaning traveling with in Mojan way. It's what saying Ursula, Rick, and the others.
Da, asta am înțeles eu și vă mulțumesc și îmi cer iertare dacă am deranjat.
This is what I understand, and I ask. Sorry if I bother you, but this is what I understand this night, and I thank you, saying Adrian.
Thank you for all.
Okay, maybe you could, thank you, Adrian. Maybe you could summarize that for us, Dan. What, in a couple of sentences, can you say what Adrian was saying there? I caught most of it, but I didn't quite get some of the details.
Okay, when you open the eyes, when you open the soul, the eyes, it's a door, it's a window of soul. When the soul is looking and it's like it what I was seeing, carry behind also the body, the physicality.
Okay. So is it like we move forward toward the things that we like as a soul with open eyes?
Yes, I think it is, but also when you don't like something, you are forcing to pass through. I thinking is my thoughts. Is the permission from disconnection to the eyes and the soul. It's opening the door. Adrian saying no for this traveling in the Mojan way. How understanding in this night when listening to you and Ursula and the others. I think Adrian saying we right now making this travel in the soul level.
On the soul level, and the soul with trupul, cum se spune.
Body.
Well, yes, the soul and the body. This travel is possible in two sequences: only soul, or only soul and body. Mr. Fresh say this.
Okay, and we have a comment from Dimitri that's relevant in the chat. He says, eyes closed are turning the fields back in on themselves. Eyes open, fields to the planet or whoever is in front of you.
Rick, when the soul is on the body, he'll not say what is in exterior. Deci, Dan, când sufletul este în corp, el nu știe ce este în exterior. Singura lui conexiune.
The only connection is the soul is not no, Adrian say, is not knowing with what is mai zi o dată că n-am înțeles faptul că sufletul e în interior.
Deci,
când sufletul e în interior?
Sufletul este în interiorul corpului. Singura lui conexiune cu exteriorul.
The only connection with the external, with the outside.
Sunt ochii.
It's the eyes.
În momentul în care sufletul găsește calea de a ieși din corp, în anumite momente,
when you finding the way, the gap to passing outside,
el atunci are cunoștință cu totalitatea, învață totalitatea.
Learning and knowing the totality. I agree and disagree, but it's not important. Go ahead, continue.
În cadrul totalității face parte și trupul.
Also, body is part of totality.
Și atunci când îl va vedea și dacă îi va plăcea ce vede.
When we like it, what they say, what he looking.
Îl va lua cu el în călătoria Mozan. Asta am vrut să spun.
Ok, am tradus exact cum ai zis.
Okay.
I translate exactly what you are saying.
Thank you, Dan.
Nor me, we.
Can I
Sure, Jalal. I waiting.
That was a magic word that brought in Jalal. We. Okay, go ahead. We.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jalal.
Nice to hear you again, guys. Rick, can you put me in a panel list, please?
Dan.
It is done.
Dan missing.
Should be in there now.
I translate with the phone.
Okay. I will share the whiteboard and I will draw something here, and will open your eyes for a lot of things. It's not missed, but maybe I add a little bit more understanding.
Joel, just before you begin, we may have to add a Romanian translation, so go slow so that
yes.
Dan, are you going to translate for Adrian? Is that what's going on?
I think he will understand because I speak very easy and slowly.
I was going to say slow and easy, so go ahead, yes.
Don't worry. In right to this moment, I translate in the other phone. What you say, Jalal, I translate out to Adrian in the other line.
Okay, my friend. Let's take a person who is sitting in a wheelchair. Or you as a person nice drawing, yes. And you want to, you have some, let's say your toe here. It's not working very well. There is no connection. If you step in your toe or you touch it, you do not feel anything. Or this guy here, his leg is paralyzed. This one here. Normally, do you remember when Mr. Cash speaks about tapping the heel for this person in your hand, even when he's sitting? Or you put the Chinese needle to embody in the nerving system. What we are doing, if we punch it with the needle here, and they are using this nails here in this position or another position, whatever it is, what we are doing? I think all of us know that they re-established connection between this toe and the master. Although in physicality there is connection because it is attached to the body, and in the plasma there is connection because the soul is all over, because it have a soul. But what is the mist here? It's the emotion side, and this is what control in the nerve system. So you use tapping, you use the Chinese needle, you use all sort of things. You put it in the hot water, you put it in the cold water, a lot of systems. Yes, to re-establish this connection. So if we consider this is our universe, and you as a person is this dot here. What you need to travel here?
Jalal, sorry, but person with persoana care are probleme.
The person would have the problem.
Yeah.
What are you doing with this person?
Te-ai focusat doar pe ce faci tu și protecția ta aici. Dar persoana cealaltă...
Scurt. You are focusing what you are doing, you. But what making with the other person? Asking Adrian.
Persoana din scaun.
The person of the chair.
look, you have this toe. He's speaking about this toe. Yes, let's say this one here, and how you establish the connection. There is a connection. This toe is already connected to the body, and there is connection. This toe is already connected to the soul, because in you know, in the body you have physicality, you have emotion, and you have soul. Physicality, this is the body. Soul, we know the entire body is covered with the energy of the soul, but what is missing here is the emotion side and the nerve system, which play this part, emotion system.
You am înțeles, I say Jalal this, but it's not correct, because person with his persoana în scaun, Dane.
The person of the chair. I understand what you're saying.
It's outside for your
Outside of your
în afara câmpului tău energetic.
Of your field, energetic field. Adrian, I think he say, Adrian, cred că zice, este vorba despre reconectare.
Yes.
You mean this person in the wheelchair? How you connect?
Da.
Okay. Okay.
It is a problem and this question.
Okay. Look, I'm not speaking now about the problem, but because there is no problem. The person who is
is problem because you are connect your left hand leg, your leg, left or leg is connected. You are connected with your soul. In this moment, your configuration on protect dome with your body, but person with problem is outside.
Yes, look, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
This person here in the chair, he do not know that there is 3 lines of connection. He have the body connection, what I said, the first one, physicality, and he have the emotion side inside, this is the second one, and he have the soul energy level, and this is the third one. This one, he do not know about this one, about the soul level. He knows only 2 things.
Jalal, cum împart cu ea energia sufletului tău și energia ta vitală?
How we share your energy, vital energy, with this person?
If this person do not knows about this part, the soul level, so he's already, look, when I come to this one, and I'm speaking about this one, I want to open the understanding. And when you open the understanding, you will work with it. If this person, when they are using the Chinese needles in his nerve system, what they are doing? You know what they are doing? It's only that when they touch this place with the nerve, they establish reconnection. They telling this pose here in a way that, hello, I am here, I am exist. This part is not died. You know, when you tap in your heel, what you're doing? When you tap here, you make a wish, you make a need, you make an order, you make something that you connect you to the boss, and this is in the head. Why there's disconnection? When there is disconnection, you go and you tap, you go and you put the needles, you go and for someone to speak and tell you, oh, wait a minute, you need to reestablish this connection.
Pot să spun ceva? Da, I say something. Tu trebuie sufletul tău care l-ai băgat în acea carapace să intre în conexiune cu sufletul persoanei respective.
But you needed to connect your soul, no, like a third person, to connect with the soul of this person.
Și să-i arăți sufletului acelei persoane unde are problema, fără să pui ace.
And showing this person in the chair where is the problem without needles and the other.
Acele sunt ale fizicalității.
But this person, my friend, do not exist, and this person do not exist. This person who I'm speaking about, it's you. And it's me. And it's we.
Sunt de acord cu tine aici. Jalal?
Yes.
I agree with you.
Dar
But
să nu uităm
don't forget,
că noi, cei care am înțeles,
we were who I understanding,
avem capabilitățile astea
we have this capability
și le-am căpătat
and achieving
cu ajutorul domnului Cash
with help of Mr. Cash
ca să ajutăm pe alții.
for helping the others.
Ăsta este rolul nostru.
This is the role, purpose
Că ajutăm
for
pe
helping,
sănătate,
in helping in health session,
că ajutăm pe energie,
helping in energy level,
că ajutăm pe transport.
in the travel.
Asta este menirea noastră.
This is the main.
Și mulțumesc frumos, prietene Jalal.
And thank you very much, my friend Jalal.
Thank you. But you need also to understand one thing. The first one, you love it's you.
Da.
The first
Jalal,
one,
Jalal, numai un pic. Sunt de acord cu tine și am înțeles de foarte mult din treaba asta. Dacă vrei să ai rezultate, trebuie să te iubești pe tine.
Kurt, I agree with you, and I understand for making the result, it's needed to first loving himself.
so it's no different, absolutely no different. If you help yourself, or you help me, or you help any entity in this body. And this entity in this body, like a cells in this universe. There is no different. One cell here in this body, my friend, one cell here, and there is a trillions of cells here. There is no difference because they are working in one body. This is what always we are missing. We think that this cell is important and this is need to be life. No. If this one work good and live in the ethos of the universe, every cell here in this body will achieve that, because this will be stronger, 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 and make all of that good. The same thing, you as a body, you are one cell here in this whole universe. If you shine, everything here will shine. So there is no difference, absolutely no difference. One cell or one part or one finger or one arm, one leg, one body, there is no difference between them. When this happening here, it also can happen wherever it is.
Și reprezintă totalitatea, reprezintă totalitatea. Thank you.
So let me back to this guy here. What if when you are using this Chinese needle only to let this guy knows there is something here, there is one here, so it will reestablish again the twinity between the big and the small. You understand? You take it as a matter, you take it as a field. When you look in your eyes, in your feet, and you say, ah, I forget about this one, about this chat here. What's wrong with him? And then you establish. Or you tap. There is a lot of methods to connect this chap here and down to the main, the post. And when it is connect, it is already in the body. It's not outside the body. So you are here in this universe, you are already inside the body. You are already connected. You understand? You do not going to establish with another universe. That will not happen. Now you want to establish with your universe. So if you are here in this place, in this area, I want to connect to Dan or to Rick. What I need to do? Think about Rick. Think about Dan. Think about Libby. Think about anyone I want. But it will not happen with one time, because the same thing, this leg or this feet, when you put the needle here, you want how many times you need to put the needles here in this way, then you establish connection with the nerve. How many times? With one time? Or only when you watch with your eye, this here, you establish connection, or you tap on it, or you make whatever, anything? No, it need time, it need practice, that every single time you tap in it, every single time you put a needle in it, every single time you watch it, you establish the connection. One by one, one by one, one by one, stronger, 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 and then it will open up, because you make an order, you make a need. So if you want to travel anywhere in this universe, you are already there in this universe. You are already connected with all the fields, the matter state and the energy state. You need only the emotion side. This is what failed between us here in this earth and wherever we want. Just think about this place, establish connection with it, one time, two time, three time, four time, understand it, how it's work, which energy, and then if you do that, you see it every day in the night, every day you understand the light, what it have, which color it have, you will understand, and you will connect to it. So direct. You do not need to travel because you already connect everything there. It will come to you. Do you remember the small bottle and the big bottle? What I done last time before 2 months more, when I put from this one, I put 1 drop here. Do you remember, guys? Before 2 months, about 3 months, and next day I noticed that the smell in this small bottle, it was already here. I already only put 1 drop here from this water, only 1 drop. Next day, everything here, it came in this one. Who done that? Because this plasma, when I put it here, 1 single drop is connected. So everything here in this 1 drop go back to this big one. If you want to be the big one, or you want to be the drop, both ways working. It's only you to open this mind. You are already here in this universe. You are connected in this body. This cell is connected with the matter, and it's connected with the soul. So what's the third one? It's the emotion side. That's all. Emotion side is knowing and doing. I hope you understand it, how I understand it. It came only when I went and tapped my feet in this position to change the fields in the bone structure. It's only to change this one. In the bone structure. Why it's closed? Because of the emotion. You are here on Earth. Why didn't you are not connected to Jupiter? Why you are not connected to the sun? Why you are not connected to whatever, which planet? You are already connected. But why you don't feel it? Because you think you are only here on Earth, and you are only in this place, in this area. You are important, and anything else does not exist. Now with the teaching, this 1 cell, it's in this part of the heart, and there is a trillion, and this heart in this body, and there is a trillion, and this body in this solar system, and there is a trillion, and this is in this universe, and there's a trillion. All of them is one. All of them is connected with the energy of the Creator. Wherever you go, there is the energy of Creator, and it's connected to you. The one thing you are disconnected from, it's the emotion side, because you put the barrier. Because I don't see it, it's not exist. Because I don't feel it, it's not exist. Because I do not touch it, it's not exist. And what I learned from before, what I learned from my parents, what I'm learning from the culture, what I'm learning from my community, telling me there's nothing outside there. Only Mr. Kai is telling you how to connect with the whole thing. Thank you very much. I hope I add something in understanding. Any question, I am here.
Yes, Gerald. I'm a question. Dar te o să traduci tu.
Okay.
Dacă noi suntem aici, am înțeles esența noastră.
If we are here and understanding the essence, so
De ce nu putem privi mai departe?
why don't you looking further?
Că suntem capabili să ne
You are
conectăm.
You are
Wait,
capable to
wait. I have a question for you. I have a question for you and Dimitri. You said you close your eyes.
No, not closed eyes. I don't know this. Open eyes. Open eyes because with your eyes is open.
Okay.
The soul out.
Okay.
Out.
You open eyes, yes?
Yes, open
Okay.
eyes.
Okay. Dimitri said close eyes. Or
No closed eyes. No closed.
no close? Okay. I said,
Yeah.
you said open eyes. I said tapping. Let's say
No.
Dimitri said close eyes. I said Chinese needle. Ursula said you don't need no eyes. You need only thinking. I said massage.
No.
Rick said,
Gerald.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm wait.
You understand? If you understand what I said, I will repeat it again. It's no matter what method you use. Close eyes, open eyes, thinking, whatever. It's all method, like the same thing. This part is not working in your body. You are using all this method. You are using massage. You are using plasma water or whatever, or pen pan. You are using Chinese system. You are using Indian system. Whatever. It's no different from what you said. You need only to establish connection again with this part, and this part is the nerve system. The nerve system in the plasma, it is the emotion side who is controlling this side. You understand? In the body, you are already connected. So there is one connection is already connected. Yes, there is a blood, there is lymph, there is muscles, everything. There is all the items in your body is already connected.
Gerald, you say this moment from open system, open system, no, closed system functional. With life, with sound, with other part of corp. But your soul have and Gans are o mare poartă, big gate soul from exterior. This port, this gate from soul is I. Your eye depend culoare, dane, lumină, strălucire,
light, brightness,
depinde foarte mult de starea sufletului.
depend of state of soul.
Sufletul, în momentul care ajunge la același grad de înțelegere,
When your soul touch the level of understanding
cu ochii tăi,
with your eyes,
este capabil să iasă în exterior, să-ți vadă corpul și să vadă ce mai este pe jur.
it's able to see what is outside in down in seeing the body and that things.
Asta am înțeles eu, domnul Încheș.
This is what mai repetează, Adrian, ca să
Asta am înțeles eu, domnul Încheș.
This is understanding from Mr. Cash, saying Adrian.
Îmi cer scuze, Gerald.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Gerald.
No, it's okay. No, we are all adding to the same knowledge. Everyone in what he think and what he take from this river of knowledge. So no problem. But do you think the hand or the eye or the nose or the tongue or the feelings, it's equal to the thought?
N-am înțeles ce ai vrut să spui, Gerald.
And
Nu sunt egale cu sursa, Gerald. It's not equal meant for sursa, Gerald.
It's only connection.
This is connection from physicality. Connection soul of I and connection soul I totality is other. E altceva.
The other things.
this is one level of matter state. And the thoughts, also the emotion side, it's one level
Deasupra, da.
higher than matter state. And the soul level, one level
Normal, pus
higher
capul
than
în pachet.
what you said, Adjan?
Nothing. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
My microphone is open. I speak with me.
Okay.
Sorry.
So any level you are using, any level, it can add to the level what you want. Any level. But which one faster? This one is already there. And this is in the body of the man. This one is already exist, and this is the energy of the soul. What is missed?
Jalal, nu există nimic din ce ai spus tu.
It's not missing nothing with what you are saying.
Numai că
Only
Trebuie să vedem că și acest suflet la
It's
care
needed to see this soul.
ne uităm are necesități și nevoi. Și
Have the needs and necessity.
Și trebuie să vadă ce este în jurul lui.
It's needed to see what is inside, internal.
Nu trebuie să închistăm sufletul în, iartă-mă, te rog, în dogme.
Forget me. It's not needed to closer in the dogma, in the. Continue.
Sufletul este liberul arbitru al nostru.
Free will of the soul.
So you mean this person in the wheelchair? What he need again to walk?
De dragostea întregii societăți care este lângă el și de sufletul lui să înțeleagă că trebuie să fie ca ceilalți.
That's good. Love of society where he's living and understanding the soul. Deci să înțeleagă sufletul lui. Adrian, ce să înțeleagă?
Că trebuie să meargă.
It's understanding it's needed to walk, whole walking.
I didn't understand, sorry. Dan.
Este simplu.
It's simple.
Rețeta este foarte simplă.
The recipe it's very simple. Scurtă, de că să poți traduc.
Da. Deci aceste lucruri care domnul Cheș ne-a învățat,
What Mr. Kesh is learning,
în care ne spune că se fac vindecări instantanee,
when he say it's healing instantly, it's processed.
sunt posibile dacă sufletul
If you soul,
persoanelor bolnave pricepe asta.
the person, the soul of person is with, like say, disease, understanding that
Și acceptă asta.
and accepting this.
Pentru că dacă ei nu acceptă, nu se întâmplă nimic.
If you don't accept, nothing happens.
Înțelegi acum ce vreau să spun?
You understanding, Gerald, what I am saying?
Yes.
If you don't accept and don't know, like a soul, it's not possible to change.
This one need to accept this one.
Yes. Yes, Charles. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry from this dialogue. Îmi cer scuze pentru acest dialog care a fost mai lung.
Adrian saying, I'm sorry for this dialogue, but I laughing and I say, don't worry and don't say sorry because it's needed to add it from the
Yes, of course.
understanding.
No, he's not wrong. No one is wrong. No one is wrong.
Îmi doresc să mai ascultăm și pe alți colegi ai noștri.
I want to listen to also to other colleagues saying again.
Oricum, Jalal este prietenul meu de suflet. Și
Jalal
îl
is
ascult
my
cu drag.
friend of my soul, and I listen with very, very much pleasure.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Jalal.
Thank we.
So I stop sharing if there is no question.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Libby. Thank you, Clint, thank you for all.
Okay, thanks, guys. That was an interesting interchange there, and sort of came around to a resolution. Okay. Does anyone else have something they'd like to offer at this point in time? Speaking which, we're almost 3 hours into the show here, and depending on what's available, we can carry on or not. Mark had a comment in the chat. I think he left actually, but saying we're learning to split into dimensions, physicality, and field states, and to operate in both simultaneously. Mr. Kesh has been stressing the sensing the soul of the earth and stars and neighbors. And Alex says, thank you, Jalal. That was good. Thank you, Adrian, for the split conversation that we were able to attend to. It's interesting.
I have a request to everybody here.
We don't sing here, but we can hum.
I would like you all to, I know many people have done this, is to make Gans without matter state, no plates, no coils, no metal, just the fields of your body and your intention, and to see what you manifest. Thank you.
Hello. I'm making these guns. Dan, help from this solution.
Okay.
Am făcut acest de Gans.
I'm making these type of guns without matter, coil, and plate.
Dar într-un anumit moment.
But in a certain moment,
Am pornit reactoarele de Gans normal.
I start the reactors, Gans, normally.
Și la un moment dat, după ce s-a oprit,
And after when it's stopping,
am scos de acolo bobinele și plăcile de material.
I take out the coil and the plate.
Și după aceea am lăsat reactorul cu soluția salină în el.
And I left only with salt water inside.
După ce inițial s-a oprit,
After initially stopping,
când am scos conținutul material din el,
when I take the gas from this reactor,
a început să producă din nou.
It's making again the gas, the new gas inside without only from field.
De când la aceste metode pe care le-am dezvoltat,
starting from this method with starting,
noi la ora actuală, dintr-un singur reactor de 4 litri volum,
from the one reactor of 4 liters,
obținem aproximativ 4 litri de gas.
obtain approximately 4 liters of gas.
După ce am înțeles exact ce trebuie să facem.
After we understanding how it's needed to make it.
Nu am făcut altceva decât să respectăm procedurile fundații.
Is not needed also respect the procedure of cash foundation instruction.
Și avem rezultate.
And I have the results. Thank you.
I didn't understand how he makes the Gans. It's you got 4 liters of Gans without using the matter level stuff. Is that what he's saying?
In short, he's starting the reactors with the plate and coil. After when making the Gans, first Gans, is take out the coil and the plate. Is rested to fill inside. It's empty from first Gans and leaving only salt water in this reactor. Without plate, without coil, it's remain inside of this box, the field create. And this reactor continue producing this gas without the matter stage.
So
I see.
try doing it without beginning with the matter state in there, without having the fields introduced to the salt solution from either your coil or your plates. Just
But still having the salt solution, you mean, Dimitri?
Yes.
Just a plain salt solution, basically, in a box, and then you produce Gans from it.
Correct.
Okay.
Da, este posibil. Este posibil asta, pentru că noi, în momentul în care startăm un reactor,
when it's starting the reactors,
noi producem o matrice acolo.
You produce the matrix.
Această matrice corespunde unui anumit tip de material, de nanomaterial.
It's fitting with the specific materials, field of materials.
Nanomaterial. Și această matrice este foarte puternică.
It's very strong, this matrix of.
Yes. Și în momentul în care noi scoatem obiectele fizicalității de acolo,
when you take out the object of physicality from this reactor,
rămâne matricea,
remain the matrix, remain the field,
care funcționează.
And it's working.
Pe mine mă surprind lucrurile astea.
I am surprised from these things.
Pentru că sunt lucruri care le-am văzut de foarte mult timp. Le-am văzut cam din 2016.
Because I see this from 2016.
Și am avut foarte multe realizări.
And I have many realized in this.
Am reușit pe această cale să producem tritiu, deuteriu și hidrogen.
In this manner, I obtain tritium, deuterium, and hydrogen.
Pentru că noi am eliminat câmpul intermediar.
Because I eliminate field intermediaries.
Al stratului de nano.
Of nano layer.
Și atunci rămân doar matricea.
Remain only the matrix.
Am obținut materiale de care am avut nevoie.
I obtained the material which is needed.
Și asta facem și la ora actuală.
And this is making also in this time.
Pornim reactoare în fizicalitate.
I started the reactor in physicality.
După care scoatem elementele fizicalității.
After it's taking out the matter state.
Și pentru cel puțin 7 zile, ele funcționează în continuare.
And 6-7 days it's working, continue working.
Această matrice nu funcționează la infinit.
this matrix is not working in infinite time.
Se destramă la un moment dat.
It's breaking.
Yeah.
In certain time.
It's breaking. Very, very nice say. Da. Asta este.
This is it. Say Adrian.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Is anybody else?
Thank you for all today. Thank you for all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have an experience with making GANs without the plates and the usual setup, and using just the salt water without excessive salt that might be settling out on the bottom or something like that? Perhaps using your hands, your thoughts, your feelings, some sort of effect on the salt water. We know the salt water is like a plasmatic solution, and it's sort of the environment that can allow things to create and to manifest. So it kind of makes sense. Anybody have any experience with that? Well, we're getting a bit too far out there, Dimitri.
It's a shame that both of the cameras on my phone are smashed, because I have the pot in just at the end of my bed. You know, we don't need to use matter state, and I think that's you know, it's an important direction to maybe edge into, where, you know, for instance, we put a plate or a coil that's nano-coated and something else that's not into the solution. But, you know, our bodies are nano-coated. That's all the skin is now. It's just nano-coating. And with it comes down to nothing more than intention. That's all it comes down to. You know, do you wish to manifest a transitional matter with just the fields from your body? You know, it's doing nothing more. I mean, the box, you know, like a box, is in many ways, just as the body is, you know, it's a replication of each other.
And we're making GANs all the time, basically. I mean, I could give you some instant GANs. You wouldn't like it much. I could spit into a cup, and that's my GANs right there, basically.
Yeah,
and
but that's matter state. It's still matter state, yeah. Because you put.
Well, you said that's what you wanted to create was GANs, right? Not some other stuff. So it's created from my intention. You think about it, before we eat something, usually we have a impression of it that produces saliva in our mouths. It starts to generate the whole process that's ready to break down that matter level food, whatever it happens to be that we are attracted to, and starts that whole GANs breakdown into the GANs of the body through the process of digestion and so on. So in a way, we produce GANs just from our thoughts. So most of the time, those thoughts are on food, though.
So, very, very much so.
Somewhat limited toward maybe helping others or doing internal processes inside of ourselves that are of a higher order and that kind of thing. And also the process of food is usually more or less an involuntary process, in that we see food, we salivate. You know, it's not like we deliberately think of certain food and then deliberately start that salivation process, which you can also do. We can make it voluntary, that kind of activity, rather than involuntary. And in that way, we have control over it. We have more, a lot of things you don't want control over inside the body as well. But it's a way of deliberately, intentionally creating voluntary actions rather than being subject to involuntary actions. One thing I'd like to mention, we were talking earlier about from Jalal with the foot and the person in the wheelchair and the leg and so on. Well, there was a time in my life where I had a herniated disc in my back and I could barely walk. I couldn't sit down for a year and a half. I'd have to, it was very difficult to drive and so on without sitting down. Basically, I was half standing up when I was trying to keep my butt off the seat when I was driving and so on. It was a very painful, very hard time for me. And so I did have the needle, that Jalal was showing there, the acupuncture. And I happened to get someone that was very good at it, who was both an MD and an Oriental doctor. And he basically alleviated that pain and suffering in about 2 minutes of needle therapy in about 6 places along my leg. So when he was done, he said, okay, your pain should dissipate over the next 2 weeks or so, and that should be, you know, helpful to you. And I was thinking, oh, there's no way at this extreme pain I've been with for the last year and a half is going to be changed by these little needles. And I didn't even believe in needles in a way, because I have a fear and sort of hatred of needles in general from being vaccinated when I was a kid, and very much against it and so on. But my wife had convinced me at the time that maybe this acupuncture would be useful. So I had the treatment, and sure enough, the pain disappeared or dissipated over the next 2 weeks, and my back limbered up again. I was able to move and sit down and enjoy the normal things of life like that. But then, of course, I would re-injure it later, and then I go through more grief and so on. And it was an ongoing thing for a decade after that. But then one day, I decided that I've had enough of that pain and suffering. And somehow I got my will together. I was working in a mechanic shop at the time, and I laid down on the concrete floor, and I went into almost like a trance sort of state, sort of half dreamlike. And I went through my body, and I went over the structure of the nerves right down from my leg to the back and so on, and really pushed energy through the whole thing. And that's what really straightened me out, so to speak, and made a huge difference. And I realized the power of our own emotions is what it is. I was going to say the mind, but the mind had to make up its mind to do it, but it was an emotional flow which actually did the clearing of those channels and reconnecting the nervous system in a way that was not in a painful manner, in a way that was a natural connection rather than that, ow, that hurts connection. So I'm just getting back to that because I realized that in many of the Keshe teachings and testimonials, that's what it comes down to, is our emotional connection as as Jalal was showing in his diagram there. And that's so important. And it's not like the lower emotions where you have an emotional connection to something, but it's might be something of anger or jealousy or fear or all these whole raft of thousands of human emotions. But then there's other more, I guess you'd call them more raw emotion that is on a higher level, and it's directed, it seems like it's directed from a different place than our ordinary emotions. And when it comes through, you really know it. It's like a purging, or it's a high energy level.
Emotional of giving.
Yes, it's definitely from in to out in a way, but it has to come from deep inside. It doesn't come from the superficial levels of our brain or the superficial levels of emotion that we have to get through in order to get to those deeper levels. So I think
The real giving without any expectation.
Well, in this case, I had a full expectation. I knew what was going to happen. I'm curing myself right now. I've had enough. Hadn't been in extreme pain and suffering for 10 years, and I think I've had enough of that. And I did. I just cured it. And from then, I've had a few relapses where I pushed myself too hard and popped my back out and so on. But it's been a very short term thing, and I've had a lot of relief in the last decade or two in that sense. So it's ultimately using your own Gans to create the fields which are needed at the time, whether for your own physicality or perhaps for someone else. Maybe you can send energy to someone to help in their healing process, or help them in some other extreme emotional, stressful situation they may be in, such as when they pass, for example. That's ultimately what it might be of service for someone that's passing, commonly called dying, but it's only to those that look at the physicality. Are they talking about dying? To actually help them in that transition period of high stress by actually being there as a guide, essentially, for that individual. This is part of ancient teachings that provide that service for those that pass. So that's one of the things that one could do as an ultimate act of giving. What did you have in mind, Jalal?
What I explained, the same thing what you explained. It was in the meta state, and you have a need. So you put this acupuncture. The same thing. This part where you put, where it was paining, it's already connected to the whole body. But there is something, this part, which may put the filter to cut out. It's the same thing. We are all connected for every single atom in this universe. But we who put the barrier. If we give, that means we open this barrier. And giving not in the matter state. Giving deeply from your existence. You will re-establish the connection. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You knock on the door, Hear me, I am here. You knock. How many times you knock on the door to open? If I come to you and you are in the basement, you cannot hear me. I'm shouting, you do not hear me. But what I do, I knock on the door hard. Because I want to connect. Thinking about something very strongly, you open the door. You receive because he's already sending you, you know. He's already there. It's only you who is blocking this signal or this view or this connection or this feeling.
And
It's
you had a 4-letter word for it as well, which was love.
Love, yes.
And that is the field ultimately that we draw from to make these so-called miraculous recoveries and to lift the bus off the child when you're a grandmother and to fly through space if you're a shaman and all those kinds of things that you know, become evident in those higher spaces, then that can be done.
And you know, in one of Mr. Kai's teaching, he said also the love is a beautiful thing, but it's also a tool to achieve what you want. Also the love, how much is precious and beautiful, also is a tool, because there is more than that. And it's the giving.
To me, the love is like a connecting fluid of the universe. And it pervades everything and everywhere. And most of the time we're blind to it because of our conditioning and buffers and social norms and cultural things, and because we're busy trying to make a living and there's other things to do and all this stuff. And then we come down to love and we think of love with myself and another individual, and that is love. But that's only one manifestation on a lower level of that complete interconnectedness of the totality, which is love, which is everywhere, unconditionally connecting everywhere, everyone, all at once. And it's just up to us to what level we want to connect with that. At the highest level, it may not be as lovey-dovey as the lower levels, and it might be very hard to tolerate being in that place in the higher levels because it's high energy. It's the raw love. If you've ever felt raw, unconditional love, it's amazing because there's no limit to it, and it's kind of gets a bit freaky because from that point of view, then all is love. There is no other than love. There's no love and hate. Hate's not the opposite of love. There's either the existence of love or not. And so in the full manifestation, I think it gets closer to the harder to take kind of thing. I mean, how many of us are in that state of full unconditional love all the time, where we don't have expectations and we don't have our own personal things getting in the way, and all of our thoughts and other emotions and things of the world and all of that, to experience that full totality of unconditional love in every moment. Too busy for that as humans most of the time. Sorry, can you call back later when I have more time? Anyway, I digress for a testimonials meeting here, but it was part of my personal testimonial about a healing of the physicality from sheer will. Big lesson there for myself and for anybody who engages in such things. Okay, any other comments? Shall we wrap things up here? Ursula says, love heals it all. What the world needs is love, love, love. Gee, that's a good name, a good line for a song.
Yeah, just like what the Beatles did.
Whoops. Good thing I didn't make that song. I'd be in a copyright violation.
Hey guys, I'm going to pop in. Can I be heard?
Yes, I see your hand was up there, Dean, but I thought it was a leftover hand from earlier. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, can I share my screen for just a second?
Okay.
Okay.
And you know the rules about not.
Yeah, I know the rules. Show anything that's what do you call it? That's copyrighted, because I'm an artist and I make my own. Can you see that?
No, we're still seeing Flint's screen here.
Okay. Well, let me.
You trying to share a live video or
back.
just your screen?
No, just a picture.
A picture.
I'll just yeah.
A picture.
Share button. Yeah.
So you have the picture up and you can see your share button.
Well, yeah, I do, and I pushed it. Okay. And let's go back to, oh shoot. This is always so hard when it starts. I'm going to speak as an artist for a little bit, because the eye has been talked about so much. And there it is. Now, can you see?
No.
No.
When you push the share button, what do you get?
It says start share, and it says this will stop others.
Hit OK.
No, it's a white box. I'm on a phone, and I pushed start share and push OK. So I'm going to do that, and then I maybe screen. Start share now. Okay, can you see my screen?
You see your full screen with your apps.
Enter with the gallery.
Okay, now we see a picture, clouds and tree.
See the heart?
Ah, okay. The heart-shaped cloud in the tree.
The heart-shaped car. Yeah, and I figured since love was the
well, if you're looking at it, if you're looking at it from the other direction, it could be a Pac-Man shaped with an eye.
We're trying to talk about love here. We're trying to talk about love here. Some people have a love of Pac-Man, no doubt about it.
Well, that actually sort of brings a perfect segue into what I wanted to say about the eyes and the eyes of the soul, and how I'm an artist and I work with sacred geometry, and then I put it into photograph, and then I take, without manipulating the shape, I'll manipulate color and etc. And when people look at it, just like the cloud, or is it Pac-Man, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when a person looks at something that is well composed, it's sacred geometry, so it can't be anything else. It opens up through the eyes whatever it is, the mind, the spirit, the soul, and it causes emotion to the person through the, to the observer of what they're seeing, of something that I did not put the meaning into it. I had the joy of creating it, but it, the eyes, they open up the soul, they open up the spirit, and they create a state where creation and intention can be anchored. It can be anchored into a picture or something like that. And I know because when I create anything, I make sure that I'm in a space that I can anchor it into intention of peace and the ethos of, the Kesh Foundation and what the things I'm part of. Anyway, I just, that was my little thing that I wanted to add is the eyes are, I guess it's a two-way. It's a mirror and that you get to stand on both sides. And I think perhaps you get to create from both sides. And with that, I'll say, thanks, guys. It's been really enjoyable. And Ursula, thank you for your spirit. If you're still here, yeah, I'm just glad to be part of you and the whole group. So with that, peace be with everyone, and thank you.
That's lovely, Dean. Pretty apt image compared to our conversation today.
Well,
yeah,
it is.
My art. All your pictures, Dean. You see all your pictures right now, so it's better.
Yeah.
Are you wanting us to see all your pictures right now?
Yeah. I figure as I'm going out, I might as well let there's another heart. It always shows up. Anyway, and I'm going to stop sharing screen, and we can all say goodbye. And is there a place that I can send some of my work to the foundation? Because it does. It opens up. It opens up people's spirits, and I certainly would like to be able to share some of it.
Yeah, we have. We're starting a folder of people's contributions, their artwork contributions. So you could send it to myself or Flint, and we can put that away. And I think we're working on a form or have a form to release it so that we can use any, pictures publicly and that sort of thing. So that would be the condition of any pictures that people...
Open source.
It's essentially a donation to the Kesh Foundation, and it has to be liberated as far as uses and so on.
I understand.
So yeah,
so I'm going to mute myself and just say thank you so much.
You've got lots of good images, Dean. So it'd be good to get them in, and I'm hoping that some of the images we are accumulating will get used on the Plasma Scientific Journal covers, so that we have some local artists or local Kesh type artists local to this planet, but people associated with the Kesh Foundation putting their artwork on the Plasma Scientific Journal cover. I think that would be appropriate. So we'll see. Very good. Anything else before we wrap up here today? Going once, going twice. All right, I think we have it covered. It's been a wonderful testimonial session today. Let me just double check on the YouTube, make sure. I think we have it covered. Yeah.
To add it, what it's saying, love, 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 and I say ta ta ra ra ra.
You say what again?
Ta ta ra ra ra. Do you remember this?
How is that translated?
No.
I
I
know.
thought it was
Ori-
Romanian for love for a minute there.
No. It's all you need is love. Love. Ta ta ra ra
Da,
ra.
da, da, da. All you need is love. Da, 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 da. Now I get it. Very good, Dan. Thank you for that addition. We almost started singing there. This is what we have to avoid on this show. No, thank you, everybody, for your contributions here today in the 34th Public Testimonials meeting. And you want to make the official ending,
Go ahead.
Flint?
Yeah, go ahead.
For Monday, September 9th, 2019, it's been a presentation of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department, part of the Public Teachings in English. Thank you, Flint, for being the co-host today with myself and others who are also, in a way, hosting themselves. So we are hosting, we are here, we are participants, and
Thank we.
We are present. All right, I think that wraps up the show for today. Great show. Thanks, everyone. And see you in a month at this same location, which should be October something or another, second Monday of October, which I'd have to look up. Flint's probably on it right now and is about to tell me within seconds. I can feel it. I feel you, Flint. I know you're going to say that.
This will be October 14th.
See, I told you I'm psychic and we have a direct connection.
Yeah.
In a way, it's true. Huh. Anyway, yeah. And of course, for the plasma reactor group on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Central European time, and of course for the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, as usual. Next week we'll have the beginnings of the private teachings and more public teachings as well.
Yeah, next Monday starts the fall trimester.
So anybody who wants to become a student, you better get your application in immediately, because it takes a bit of time for it to be approved and go through and get ready for the school year. The recordings will always be available regardless when you become a student. Thanks,
So
Peggy.
bring your books and pencils, huh?
Sharpen your pencils.
Yes, your number 2 lead pencil.
Hopefully we can convert that lead to something else, into gold perhaps.
Yes.
Peggy mentions next Tuesday, the One Nation, One Planet, One Race will fire up as well. Is that true?
Yes,
I guess
that's
so.
right.
It should be. It's after the 16th and the 17th, I think. So thank you, Peggy, for that reminder as well. Okay, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye for now.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate